Good evening. Please remain standing for the invocation. On behalf of all here and all the faiths present, we celebrate the hard work and accomplishments of these candidates for graduation. We are thankful for the support of the family and friends that contributed to their success, as well as the hard work and dedication of the faculty, staff, administration, and trustees of the college, which also made this possible. We're also thankful for the many friends of the college who have assisted our students and the college as a whole. We're united as we celebrate this evening, and please be with these soon-to-be graduates as they continue to work to achieve their goals. Amen. And you may be seated. And will Adilene Munoz come forward to give student greetings?
Good evening, Board of Trustees, faculty, classmates, friends, and family. I once saw a quote from an unknown source printed on a picture. It perfectly sums up my entire reason for why I'm standing on the stage before you tonight. My child is my everything, so I will give anything and stop at nothing. My son was my motivation for going back to school to earn my high school diploma. I wanted him to have somebody to look up to, somebody to be his motivation, a mom whom he could be proud of. I haven't always been the best role model for him. Today I am beyond grateful for where I stand. However, at one point in my life, my personal choices led me to a dark place. From substance abuse to homelessness, there were times when my family didn't even know if I was alive anymore. Eventually, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. It was time for a change. I'm not going to lie and say it was easy, because it wasn't, but it was worth it. I had been out of school for nearly 15 years when I decided to return. On that first day of class, I remember thinking things like, my classmates are so young. I really hope they don't ask me how old I am. I can't even remember how to multiply because it was so long ago. I might have felt a little more than just old that day. Miss Bone came to the rescue, though, by helping me download an elementary school app that had me multiplying in no time. Before I even knew what happened, I had been moved up to Mr. Moss's higher level math class. I was pretty sure at the time that somebody had made a scheduling mistake. But in the end, my hard work paid off, which is why I'm standing here tonight as a high school graduate. Now, being in school certainly wasn't easy. Mind you, I was a mother of an energetic 7-year-old, a full-time employee struggling to make ends meet, plus a student in my free time. There were periods of time when I couldn't even make it to class. Mr. Strickland, though, somehow found time in his schedule to come to my place of employment and remind me how important my education was. Of course I knew this already, but words can't express how much it helped to have one of the teachers showing up randomly at my job and remind me of this fact. In the end, I decided that I had nothing to lose, and I signed up to start taking my high school equivalency test. Much to my surprise, I passed the first one, social studies. Then I surprised myself again by passing the science, reading and writing, then math. How could I ever pass math? Yet eventually my efforts paid off and I passed that one too. So what's next? Now that I have this high school diploma that I wanted so badly for so long. I've always believed that college is completely out of the question because it's so expensive. After all, how could I go to college and still afford to take care of my child? It seems absolutely impossible. Until I sat down with Mr. V, the transition coordinator in college and career readiness. He took me to student enrollment services and sat right next to me throughout the whole entire process of applying to Nash Community College and applying for financial aid. I could not believe how incredibly easy it was. 2 weeks ago, I was still thinking that college was impossible for me, but now I am proud to say that I have received financial aid and I am now enrolled at Nash, studying medical assisting with the eventual goal of going into rehabilitation counseling. My journey has been a little bit bumpy so far, and I know that I can now use that experience to serve others. It's time for me to be amazing. To my fellow classmates, we have done it. We have become graduates. Now it's your time to shine as well. Each of you has a story to share with the world. So with your journey in your heart and your diploma in your hand, go out into the world and be amazing.
Addie, thank you so much for that. In my notes here, I have a story about your personal journey. When you share that, the writing here doesn't do justice to it when you hear it firsthand. And we hear those stories. Thank you for sharing. That takes a lot to get up at the podium sometimes. I can remember my first time at the podium. It makes you a little nervous. Faculty, that's why we're here, right? Good evening. I'm honored to be part of this ceremony. What I've said recently is a season of celebration, as we've had all kinds of celebration, getting us to this event this evening. Welcome to this commencement ceremony. Students' commencement means a beginning. I'm Bill Carver, President of Nash Community College, and I would like to recognize at this time the Board of Trustees. These individuals, they hear this every year at graduation. They serve very little, no salary. Give them a good meal every now and then. But they give up their time, a lot of time. Ladies and gentlemen, it takes, to herd a college president, sometimes it takes a great deal of energy. But these are my bosses, and if you don't mind, I want to introduce them at this time. And I'll start with the board chair, Paul Jaber from Rocky Mount. If you don't mind, if you'd stand. And ladies and gentlemen, you'd hold your applause until I'm finished introducing them. C.E. Sonny Foster from Rocky Mount, Sam Dickens, Rocky Mount, Catherine Wiggins Fisher from Rocky Mount, Jim Martin, Rocky Mount, James Mercer, Nashville, and the SGA representative, Amberly Dornseef. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the people that make the governance piece at Nash Community College, and they make it all work. Thank you for your service. Graduates, guess what? You got a credential in hand, or you're getting ready to get one in hand. Mind you that we approve all of the things that you don't owe anything to the bookstore or any of that kind of good stuff. So anyway, you're all in good standing or you wouldn't be in those chairs tonight. To your friends and family visiting with us, I know that you support these graduates. We have already heard sacrifice, as you have 7-year-old at home, Addie. I know all of you probably have other family members that you going to school takes a little bit of a sacrifice. But you will take your place in this great middle-class economy that we have in this state. We welcome you to that. We welcome you to become taxpayers because, quite frankly, taxpayers pay my salary. So we celebrate your achievements and then build upon this accomplishment. And I hope you've already enrolled, as we have heard, to continue your educational journey. If you have not and you're out working, good, we have done our job. But don't stop and don't wait too long because it can become easy. But at this time, I have the pleasure of introducing to you our speaker this evening. You may already know who it is. You may already have seen her around. Graduates, it's a familiar face. Ms. Ivana Stevens, Director of College and Career Readiness. Ladies and gentlemen, she's one of the many familiar faces that make up the department, and she's responsible to make sure that they all care. We pride ourselves at Nash Community College on, as I have told people, You can pay someone to do a job. You cannot pay them to care. Thank you for sharing that someone cared to stop by work. Someone cared to take you over to financial aid. That's what we're here to do and we're supposed to do. Thank you, faculty. Thank you, staff, for making those things happen. It is very pleasing to the president to hear that we're doing our job and we're doing it well. Ms. Stevens began her career in the District of Columbia Public Schools as an English and second language ESL teacher. After moving to North Carolina, she became an education director at Sylvan Learning Center and then transitioned back to the classroom as a secondary social studies and ESL teacher. While teaching full-time, she also was an adjunct instructor in the ESL department in both Maryland and North Carolina, including the 7 years that she has spent at Nash Community College. Prior to becoming director, Ms. Stevens served as a career pathways and transition coordinator for the College and Career Readiness Department that she helped establish the certified pathways in advanced manufacturing and healthcare. Ms. Stevens was trained as a K-12 and community college educator throughout the career in ESL and integrating career awareness. She currently serves as a coach for the Golden Leaf Scholars Leadership Program, chair of the Eastern Region Adult Education Directors, and on the North Carolina Advisory Boards for Adult High School and Latino and Hispanic Initiatives. She holds a bachelor's degree in political science, in international relations, and a concentration from Tulane University, a master's degree in teaching English to speakers of other languages from American University. She's fluent in Spanish. The speech tonight, I think, is going to be in English. Okay, right. All right. And Ivana went on to she just got back. Yeah, I have to tell this little story. She just got back from visiting her alma mater, attending Tulane, a Council on Adult Education conference in New Orleans, and she actually came back. I was worried about you going to New Orleans and not coming back. I know it was close. Please join me in a round of applause as we invite Ms. Stevens to the podium. I'm glad that she made it back, or I would have to make additional remarks tonight. Graduates, I'm sure you'd rather hear from her. Ms. Stevens, if you would step to the podium.
Got too many pages, y'all. All right, good evening, members of the board, faculty, staff, Dr. Carver, honored guests, and most importantly, 2019 high school equivalency graduates. It gives me great pride to stand here before you tonight. Many of you have gotten little pearls of wisdom throughout your time from me, and now I get to do it one more time. So, tonight I want to speak to you about reinvention. Rarely is the path of life a straight one from start to finish. Rarely do things go entirely according to plan. Life is a way of throwing us for a loop and making our once clear, simple, and straight paths a little more obscure, complicated, and winding. Often when these major life changes come about, it makes us doubt ourselves. We can wonder if we've made bad decisions, if we've done something wrong, or if who we are is not good enough. And I know that struggling through those feelings of self-doubt can be trying and exhausting. But I'm here tonight to tell you, the you that you were, or the you that you are now, does not have to be the you that you will be. The power to reinvent ourselves is one of the greatest gifts that humans have. When life is a struggle, you may feel powerless, but I promise you that you have the ability to change your lives for the better. I learned this lesson from my parents, who have been amazing role models for reinvention through over the years. I was born on a dairy farm in Wisconsin. My parents had met in college, gotten married, and started farming soon after. It was a great life for a child. I grew up playing in cornfields, taking care of calves, and building complicated snow forts because it snows a lot in Wisconsin. My sisters and I lived a life of exploration and imagination. My parents were good farmers. My dad had studied agriculture in college, and he was progressive in trying new techniques. But as many others did in the mid-'80s, they went bankrupt as the economy tanked for small farmers. Suddenly, my parents had lost their jobs, and our family of 5 was without a home. That was the first great reinvention. We moved across the country to Massachusetts near where my mom had grown up outside of Boston, where it still snowed a lot. We moved to the suburbs, and my dad reinvented himself as a software engineer. He went to work for 2 big companies and returned to school to get his master's in computer engineering. My dad went from milking cows and fixing tractors to wearing a suit and tie every day while going to school at night. It wasn't easy, and the loss of his dream was a major stumbling block, but he did what he needed to do to support his family. The greatest lesson he has given me is the example that just because one dream dies, you don't stop moving forward. You push on, make new dreams, and set new goals. As my father established a new career, my mom began to explore various artistic outlets, from quilting to making jewelry. While working in a jewelry studio for another artist, my mom began to develop her own artistic vision and eventually opened a studio of her own, where she created fine, handmade silver jewelry with intricately designed patterns inspired by nature. Just as her business started to thrive, and 4 months after the birth of her first grandchild, my son Andrew, my mom suffered a major stroke. She was only 50 years old. The stroke robbed her of much of the movement on the right side of her body and her ability to speak. After years of intense therapy and hard work, now, 12 years later, she speaks a lot, but she still walks with a limp and struggles to make a fist with her right hand. Many would think that that would be the end of the handcrafted jewelry business. But no, my mother, that stubborn, fantastic, right-handed woman, taught herself to operate her equipment left-handed and altered her techniques to fit the new limitations of her body. Most people can't even print their name legibly with their non-dominant hand, but my mom operates a soldering gun, hammers, and a metal saw. And she does it with enough skill that she has won multiple awards for her work. Believe me when I tell you her business is stronger and bigger now than it has ever been, because rather than give up, she reinvented herself and learned a new way to accomplish what she dreamed of. She had to learn new techniques and new ways to express her art, and in doing so, she became a better artist. And back to my dad for a minute. He was laid off only a couple of years before retirement, not long after my mom's stroke. But not to worry, he's now on his 3rd career. The former dairy farmer turned computer engineer is now the head of marketing, chief of sales, bracelet bender, and lead web designer for Ann R. Hansen Jewelry. Life will take you places you never imagine, I assure you. Each of you tonight took a different path to get here, but each of you also has the opportunity to decide where you go from here. As you sit here and try and envision where you might be in 5, 10, or 20 years, you should know that many of you are going to stumble trying to get there. That's okay, because what appear to be stumbling blocks are actually opportunities for you to reinvent yourselves. Fences are filters, obstacles are stepping stones. I promise you, if you persevere and use those challenges for growth, instead of allowing them to hold you back, you will ultimately prosper in life. So going forward, here are 4 lessons that I always come back to. Take risks. When my mom quit her job to start her own business, it was a giant leap of faith. And when my dad lost his job and decided to go all in with my mom and her career, the 2 of them traveling across the country, going to arts and crafts festivals, there was nothing safe about that. But they had to take those risks to achieve what they wanted. Don't settle. If you think you are capable of more than what you are doing at the moment, reach higher towards those loftier goals. Ann R. Hansen Jewelry wouldn't exist if my mom thought she couldn't make jewelry again after her stroke. She knew she had more to offer the world, and she fought to make it happen. Never stop learning. When I was a kid, I thought my dad was the smartest person in the world. Many children probably feel that way about their parents. But now that I'm older, I still feel that way. Because he, more than anyone I know, actively pursues knowledge. He's constantly reading, watching documentaries, or studying something in a new way. It's that appetite for information that has led him to have the wide range of expertise he has. and that willingness to learn and thirst for knowledge saved him when life tried to make him stumble. Finally, perhaps the biggest lesson my parents have taught me is to appreciate the help you've received along the way by helping others when you are able. None of us travel this journey of life alone, and there are always people who help us along the way. Some of them may be in our lives forever, and some may come and go. Some may help us in ways that are obvious, and others might take a little longer their lessons to resonate. But all of us, every single one of us, had help getting where we are. When you are able, I hope that you'll find a way to be the help that someone else needs, because we are all in this world together. Graduates, I hope that tonight you find yourself ready to take those next steps in the path of life. And I hope that you will live your life with the same courage, ingenuity, and conviction that my parents taught me to live life with. I stand here in awe of you. I know many of your stories. I know that many of you have overcome many things to get here, some of which are more than any one person should ever have to overcome in their life. You have already shown your ability to persevere in the face of stumbling blocks, and I know that because of that, you will keep going. No matter how hard life gets, or how uncertain your path may seem at times, I have no doubt that you will end up exactly where you are meant to be. Thank you for allowing myself and my staff to be part of your story. Okay. Before I present the graduates, I'd like to introduce my faculty. They are amazing people that do a great job and go out of their way to help people out. So Will Vandermeulen is our transition specialist. Ida Solorzano, ESL coordinator. Dornita Harper is a coordinator. Charlene Harrison, coordinator. And then I have David Strickland, instructor. I wish you would stand up wherever y'all are. Thank you. David Strickland. Dimitri Moss. Kelvin Smith. Who am I missing? Heather Moore. Where are you? Back there. I got everybody? And I have a couple of part-time people in the back that I want to wave to. Ms. Vines, Ms. Battle, Ms. Cruz. We have great instructors, so I hope you think we have great instructors. I know many of us wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them, so thank you all. I'm very quickly going to take a sip of water. So President Carver, members of the Board of Trustees, honored guests, family, and friends. Before I present the candidates, I'd like to take a moment to share with you some facts about this class. Since last year's graduation, 80 students have completed their high school equivalency. Of the 80 students, 43 are graduating with honors, and 2 completed the National Career Readiness Certificate. Our youngest graduate this year is 16, and our oldest graduate is 51. In this group, we have parents, grandparents, and 1 set of siblings. Some of our graduates moved to the United States years ago, and 1 just a few months ago. 16 of these graduates have already started curriculum or continuing education programs here at Nash, with many more scheduled to start this summer or fall. 1 student has started a paid internship with a Fortune 500 company. Wherever life takes them next, our students know that they will be CCR, College and Career Readiness students forever. So on behalf of the College and Career Readiness program at Nash Community College, I would like to present the candidates for high school equivalency diploma. Candidates, please come forward. Justin Lee Arthur with Honors and Career Readiness Certificate. Keep going. Megan Danielle Carroll with Honors. Kaylee Ellen Connell with Honors. Mason Arthur Connell with Honors. Stefan Nazir Cotton with Honors. Denasia Lachey Dickens. Ashley Ann Ford. Jose Israel Gonzalez Jr. with Honors. Diavion Nicole Gupton with Honors. Keenan Gage Haggis with Honors. Monica Natasha Hopkins. Amber Grace Johnson with Honors. Markira Tioni Lucas. Linda Natasha Lynch. Danielle Sean Marquez with Honors. Priscilla Noemi Martinez. Shaughnessy McAllister. Adilene Janet Munoz with Honors. Maria Patricia Orozco Murillo. Yvonne Ortega Meza. Guadalupe Ortega Modesto. Reniqua Nicole Powell with Honors. Seth Daniel Radosevich. Bryant Maurice Randolph with Honors. Destiny Lachey Ricks. Joshua Austin Robinson with honors. Amber Marie Roblero with honors. Jordan Alexander Rochester. Jerry Terrell Seabreeze. Sania Sakib Siddiq. Cody Leon Smith with honors. Kyasia Monet Taylor. Sabrina Maricela Walker with honors. And Antonio Elijah Williams.
All right, let's give all the graduates a big round of applause. There you go. Good evening. I'm Wendy Marlowe, and I am Vice President of Corporate and Economic Development here at Nash Community College. And it gives me a great deal of pleasure to present the candidates for graduation. Candidates, please rise. President Carver and the members of the Board of Trustees, these candidates have met the requirements for graduation as determined by the faculty of Nash Community College. On behalf of the faculty, I recommend that they be awarded the high school equivalency diploma.
It's not official yet until I tell you it's official. Being recommended by the faculty and having completed the requirements for graduation as prescribed in 115D, the General Statutes of the State of North Carolina, and by the authority granted to the Nash Community College Board of Trustees, you are hereby granted the high school equivalency diploma. Now here comes the good part. Hang on. Hang on. You may now turn your tassels.
Congratulations, graduates. Let's give them one more round of applause. If everyone will rise for the benediction, please. And once the benediction is done, if you'll remain standing for the recessional. We ask blessings be upon these graduates as they find new roads to travel. We ask that they walk safely upon their chosen career paths. We ask that they stay true to the dreams now forged into reality as they go forth into the world with proven accomplishments. We hope that they will continue with their education and stretch themselves as far as they possibly can go, all the way to the end of this life and into the next. We ask that they be guided as they make their mark on the world with intelligence and kindness, becoming dedicated citizens and volunteers. Let the lessons learned here be the beginnings of a prosperous future. May these graduates be led to do what is best, and may the good they do echo throughout this world. Amen.